Hi, Misha here, and today we're going to compare two guns from the Modular Handgun Systems Trials, the XM17, at least to some extent. Have the of course Sig Sauer P320 M17. And the Glock brand Glock G19 Glock X. Now, yeah, the Glock 19X, which is pretty much their civilianized version of their submission that lost out to the Sig. Of course, both are in a similar flat dark earth color. Both are 9x19 NATO. The Glock is pretty much your typical Glock. It's in between a Gen 4 and a Gen 5. Ambidextrous slide release. The military trials version would have also had an external safety. The civilian version here does not. It does have a reversible mag release though. Has a lanyard loop. Comes with two 19 round extended mags. As well as, where is it at? There it is. I knew I was going to do that. Yeah, there's a mag loader there. I know it's a shock that a Glock comes with a mag loader, but there you go. As well as a flush fit. 17 round. The Sig over here. Much the same. Ambidextrous slide release. This does have the external safety, which you can charge with or without. It also comes with night sights, lanyard point on the back, reversible mag release, pick rail under the barrel just like the Glock. Standard mag here is the type that were shipped to the military with 21 rounds. Little extension. They also ship these with flush fit 17 rounders. Pretty much all the guns in the program, they try to get as much capacity as they could. And your 320 trigger system, and this has a Glock trigger. So we've talked about both of these in individual videos before, but we thought it was time to take them both to the range and shoot them side by side, back to back, and then we'll come back here and, you know, give some more history and a little bit more of an opinion piece on what we liked and didn't like about each, and yeah, which we Glock 19X, Sig M17, 19X, M17, .19X. M17. That was if I take the safety off. I always forget striker guns have safeties. And now Jay gives the M17 and 19X a try with MagTech.
The M17 is clear. Glock next. Been shooting those AR match triggers, and my flinching on these softer safe action triggers. Clear.
So there you have it. We did not have a jam or failure with either pistol, using a few different ammo types, both brass and steel case. So it really just comes down to the ergonomics and Jay and I's personal preference. Now, when the MHS program modular handgun system program, the XM17 trials began, they really preferred for companies to submit existing designs, kind of already proven designs that were just modified to suit the needs of the U.S. military. And this whole program was kind of spearheaded by the Army. It all dated back to 2014. But in 2015 things got serious, and in 2016 it was pretty much boiled down to a submission from Glock and a submission from Sig Sauer. To meet the demands, to meet the needs, Sig Sauer actually submitted two pistols, a compact and a full size, arguing that since their guns are modular, you can pull the frame out, that they can be converted. Glock, on the other hand, submitted one pistol for both the compact and full size, combining features of both their 17 and 19 series. So what do we have here? Well, the SIG design, the full size, had a 4.7 inch barrel, overall length of 8 inches, weighed around 29 ounces, and was about 5.5 inches tall. As I said earlier, it had 17 standard flush fit mags and 21 extended mags. It had a PVD coating on the metal slide, and it was in coyote flat dark earth coloring, which was specified. It came with night sights. Also, the rear sight could be removed to put on a thing. It had ambidextrous external safety and controls. And of course, it was modified from the P320. And to change the grips out, you could just get a whole new lower portion. The compact version was very similar, same height. It had a shorter barrel at 3.9 inches, overall length of about 7.2 inches, and it weighed less at about 26 ounces, give or take. So basically the difference was a shorter barrel slide. Glock, on the other hand, like I said, they used the full-length grip from the 17 and the compact barrel and slide from the 19 to make what they called a crossover pistol. They figured one design could meet both needs. To that end, this has a barrel just a tiny hair over 4 inches, but 4 inches practically. Overall length is about 7.45 inches. Overall height is about 5.4 inches. And it weighs a little bit less than the Sig at about 25 ounces. And as I said earlier, standard mags are 17 round with extended mags being 19. Like the Sig, it has a PVD coated slide, and it's in that coyote color. Has ambidextrous slide release, factory night sights, and the version submitted for the military trials would also have an external thumb safety. Also, quite interestingly, it has a new frame with texture and no finger grooves, and it has this lip at the bottom here. And of course, as I pointed out earlier, a lanyard loop, and it has interchangeable back straps that have become common. Both of these have improved triggers for their MHS variations. Glocks. The Sig's is metal. The Glock's is still plastic. Glock has a rail with one notch under the barrel and no front slide serrations, and pretty standard rear. The Sig has front and well, rear and front, you know what I mean. And they're kind of angled, and it has 3 slots under for the pick rail. It too has a textured grip, but it's a little bit different shape. So yeah. And as we all know today, the Sig submission was declared the winner on January 19th, 2017, becoming the new military M17 pistol. And then on May of that year, pretty much the other branches confirmed they would be switching over to the M17, including the Army, Air Force, Navy, Marine Corps, and even Coast Guard. The Army is receiving the majority of the pistols, with the Air Force the next most, and then from there. The first batch was received in November of 2017. I'm not going to get into the issues, but needless to say, this is basically still in service and shows no signs of going. So talking about this civilian M17 versus the military, the newer military ones do have the black colored controls, not the coyote. There are a few differences Namely, the military version is meant to only fire the hotter NATO 9mm ammo, whereas the civilian version is weighted where it can fire NATO ammo as well as lighter civilian stuff. Of course, the civilian version doesn't have the proof markings and whatnot as the military would. But really, these come from the same factory and use many of the same components, have the same features, including the lanyard point, the external safety, the night sights. They also are starting to offer a P320 M18, similar style. So this is pretty close to the military gun. Really, the difference is just being in the markings. Well, when Glock did not win that contract, they decided to release this gun here at the beginning of 2018, labeling it as the Glock 19X, the X standing for crossover. This was, according to the company, their first crossover offering on the commercial market. Also, it's the first one they've offered from the company with a factory-colored slide and frame. And, of course, the whole setup is pretty well going in that coyote color, including the box and all the accessories. So that's kind of neat. It's identical, they say, to what they submitted to the MHS program, except they pulled the external safety off because, in their words, it's not needed. Gaston Glock, the owner of the company, the founder, has never wanted to put a safety on his pistols and only did it grudgingly for this program. This is predominantly a Generation 5, the slide and the frame. The only difference is really this hump down here on the grip, which means only Generation 4 and earlier mags will fit. It has the Glock Marksman barrel, GMB, which is cold hammer forged, but somewhat interestingly has more conventional hexagonal rifling versus true polygonal, but it's designed for better accuracy. And these have been sold to a few police departments, and now of course they're doing a black version as well. So what did Jay and I think? The Glock, this is one of my favorite Glocks to shoot. The trigger is a bit nicer. I personally like the full grip without the finger grooves and the potentially slim back strap. The shorter slide to me gives it nice weight and balance. It's quite light. You get 3 mags with it as standard. And hey, lanyard loop. As far as the Sig, also a nice trigger and grip. Front serrations, but it is a noticeably heavier pistol, especially front heavy. It's more metal in the front. But yeah, I'm trying to think of any other real downsides. There aren't any. Both are damn fine guns. They both are striker fired. Both are the companies at the top of their game. Glock and Sig Sauer in New Hampshire. It's worth noting that Sig Sauer in Germany does support these in Europe. And talking with Jay, while we both think the 19X is really one of the best Glocks as far as shooting comfort, we do feel that the Sig is just a little bit better. The grip's a little more comfortable. It has nice checkering, but it's not quite as aggressive. It's a little more rounded. The trigger, while both are just military triggers, we're not talking target triggers here. The metal trigger just feels a little bit better to both of us. The safety's nice because you can have it on and charge the slide. I also like the kind of slope to the slide, and I like the diagonal slide serrations front and rear. A little more versatile. And for what it's worth, you do have a little more flexibility with the 3-notch pick rail versus the 1. And while early on we had a couple of failures with the Glock, they were admittedly probably either break-in related, grip related, or ammo related. We've never, and we didn't have any today by the way, that was just early. We've never had any problems with either the original 320 we tried on the channel or this M17. And of course it does hold 2 extra rounds and then in the magazine. At least the extended mag. Both hold 17 in their standard mags. I will say though, this usually only comes with 2 mags. Now which 2 mags you get kind of depends on the day of the week, it seems like, or the exact version. I've had them come in with 2 21s, 2 17s, or a mix of 1 and 1, because yeah, Sig likes to keep things fun. And they do not come with back straps. If you want to go to a different grip size, you have to buy a new grip frame, whereas the Glock does come with its grip straps. So on the accessory front, the Glock is better, because you also get a cleaning kit and a mag loader, as you saw me fling across the table. The Sig just comes with 2 mags and a little Velcro pouch. So in terms of accessories, the Glock wins. But in terms of shooting, while we do enjoy both, we're going to give it to the M17, the P320 from Sig. Given my given my past things I've said about Sig USA, it's a little, but I have to be honest. I will say though, the Glock is lighter and that can be nice, and it is nearly 0.6 inches shorter, so that might be of use. This is definitely in the more full-size gun territory. Although 4.7 inches for a barrel isn't egregious by any stretch of the imagination. So there you have it, a head-to-head with these two. Not scientific by any means, but fun, and hope you kind of enjoyed seeing them compared. If you have any questions, or if you own both or either one of these, we'd love to have your comments below. If you could afford, please check out the link and consider supporting us on Patreon. If not, just like, sharing, and subscribing is awesome in and of itself. This is Misha, and also on behalf of Jay, we will both catch you very soon next time.